Good morning, geometry students. All right, today, what we are looking at is we're going to use all the rules that we've learned and apply them to one big picture. So in this video, I'm just going to do the very first one with you, and then you can try the next one and take a look at the answer key online. So with this, what we're going to do is we're going to start by labeling everything that they're giving you up top. So you have circle O, which means that's the center point. They're telling you FA is a tangent line, so it just touches in that one point. FEDB is a secant line. We got ADC and AB are chords. Awesome. All right, arc CE, here we go, is 40 degrees, so label that. Arc AB, so AB over here is 130 degrees. And you don't have to put the degree on there if you don't want. You could just label the number. Angle CAB. So CAB is 60 degrees. Okay. So, and maybe I'll actually get rid of the little degree markings here and here. Just one less thing to distract us. Okay. They're starting you. Now keep in mind, the answers you're looking for at the bottom, you don't have to do them in any particular order, right? I like this particular one though, because it asks you in an order that kind of leads you nicely through it. So when it asks you for arc BC first, that's this arc here, right? If you take a look, we know that this angle 60, that it's an inscribed angle and opens up to that arc, right? Tells us how to find it. So inscribed angle, the arc is always double that. So if I do 2 times 60, that's going to give me my answer of 120. All right. From there, it doesn't ask you for it, but we actually are going to need this. We can find the last arc here. So we've got 130, 120, 40, and then to get the last arc, you use the idea that all 4 of them add up to 360. So you can just do the work off to the side. 130 plus 120 plus 40. So you can use your calculator. You can do a little mental math, whatever works best for you. And then we can subtract from that. So that's going to leave us with 70, because it's a big old puzzle. You basically want to fill in all the pieces that you possibly can. Once we know that that's 70, that is going to help us with the next steps of the problem. So angle EBA is next. If I look, B is on the edge of the circle. That again makes it another inscribed angle. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see a little better here. So an inscribed angle is always equal to the arc divided by 2. So the arc that we just found of 70 helps us get that answer. So 70 divided by 2 is going to be 35 degrees. So there's 35 right there. Whoops, in the picture. All right, angle ADE. So in your diagram, ADE is this angle. Now that's an in angle because it's created by 2 chords that cross. So for an in angle, I'm going to slide back up. That's equal to arc 1 plus arc 2 divided by 2. So my 2 arcs, I'm going to use my red pen just to highlight, are the 2 arcs that the angle opens up to. So in the picture, it opens up to the arc that's 70. And then its vertical angle opens up to the arc that is 120. Those are the 2 arcs that I would use to find this in angle. So now I'm going to slide back down. So that means I have 120 plus 70 divided by 2, or 190 divided by 2, which will give me 95. So every time you solve for an angle or an arc, label it in the picture because you're going to need it to find possibly the next thing they ask you for. Okay. So that's now 95 right there. All right, next up, they ask you for angle F. Angle F in the picture is the one way out here. That's an out angle. So the rule for an out angle, big arc minus the small arc divided by 2. So for an out angle, big arc minus the small arc divided by 2. All right, in the picture, we got to figure out what's the big arc, what's the small arc. So I'm going to slide back up here. So for my out angle, I'm going to grab my yellow marker here. The big arc that it opens up to is way out here from B to A. The small arc, that would actually be that 70-degree arc right here. So big arc, small arc. All right, let's plug that in to the formula. So I'm going to slide back up. So the big arc was 130, small arc 70. The difference is 60. And then when I cut that in half, that's 30 degrees right there. So angle F is 30 degrees. Go ahead and label that in your picture. All right, last question. Angle FAC. So FAC. I'm going to bring it back here. FAC. All right. There are multiple ways I can get that angle. It is a tangent chord angle, which means it's equal to half the arc it opens up to. Or I can use the fact that I have a bunch of triangles up here, and the three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. So if you'd like, you could actually use the fact that you've got triangle FAD right here, and you could add up 30 and 95 and subtract them from 180 to get that last angle. Or the arc that angle FAC opens up to is the arc that starts at A and goes all the way up to C. So it would be arc 70 here plus 40 there for a total of 110. That's the arc you'd have to use that you would cut in half. So 2 different ways to approach it. If I stick with the rules, a tangent chord angle is equal to the arc divided by 2. So it's that arc of 110, which when I cut it in half would give me 55. Now, just because we mentioned it, let's check the other way. If I use the idea of the triangle angles, 95 plus 30 would give me 125. If I then do 180 minus 125, check that out. There's that same 55 degrees right there. So back in the picture, when I slide up, that is 55 degrees. And there you go. So the great part about it is hopefully one answer leads you to the next. The only tricky piece to that is if you do make a mistake, it will then kind of have a domino effect and possibly mess up future answers. So use the rules, go carefully. If you need to, take a moment and write the rules down. Hopefully you have them written down from the notes earlier, but maybe you put them in one place together so that you can use them. All right, thanks for watching, guys.